This is shameless. This is just so shameless. I respect it. Like, it's just so openly shameless. And let's get some context here, because you probably don't know what's going on. So this is the official account of the mangaka of Girlfriend. You might have heard about this series before. It had an anime, 2 seasons. It's a very popular series. It apparently recently ended back in May of this year. Had 144 chapters. That's a pretty decent, solid run for a comedy romance story. I think that's really good. It didn't overstay its welcome to a very long degree, but it seems like it was relatively popular. A lot of people over the years have recommended me to read the manga, watch the anime. Never have, but I've always heard good things about it. I don't know exactly how the ending is. I don't know if the ending is good, but I've heard good things about the story over the years, and I always did have it kind of on my list to start. So, getting into the relevant stuff, basically, the author made this official post saying that he is going to be making a new manga. And at first glance, like, okay, it's a new manga. You know, any author that obviously has a work that comes to a close, they need to be working on the next big thing. They need to be working on their next work before they could put bread on the table. They need money. I mean, at the end of the day, mangaka, they need to make money, and writing manga is their source of revenue. So, you know, it makes sense. You gotta do what you gotta do. And, you know, that's what he clearly did. You know, a few months have passed, and now he's working on a new series that apparently is going to be out this October 11th, and that's only a month away, pretty much. Give or take a few days over, but he's working on manga, and we need to take a hard look at this synopsis and why I said this was shameless. A story about how a manga artist who created 4 animated works got into debt of 50 million yen as a result of being addicted to wristwatches. The book will be out on October 11th. Now, 50 million yen, that's high. And I'm going to pull up the comparison rate to USD. This is what 50 million yen is. $338,000. That is insane. That is legitimately insane amount of debt. And apparently this story that is being written is actually the author's personal story. Like, let's do some comparisons here. So he talks about how a manga artist who has created 4 animated works. We take a look at Hiroyuki's works, what he's worked on, like his published manga, who also has anime. It checks out. There's over 4 animated works that he's been a part of. So it's like, huh. Okay, this is looking a little bit sus, so to speak. And then, you know, he basically in his tweet, he's like, yo, if you don't mind and all that, it's a new book, I wrote it myself, I also drew some manga. And a lot of the quote retweets, like if you go to it, the quote retweets are kind of cooking him. Like they're straight up basically saying that, yes, this is a manga based on his life story. Now, if this is really true, like I said, it is pretty freaking shameless. It is shameless. But as I said, I respect it. I'm definitely going to be reading it just because I'm curious. I'm curious on his perspective on just how crippling 50 million debt really is, because that's, oh my goodness, the stress of that, I could not imagine. But, it's so funny with how bad it is. But if you look at all, like, these, you know, quote retweets, people are just, like, talking about the watch. Like, my man spent so much money on a watch. Like, okay, I'm not a watch guy. I never really cared too much about watches. Nothing wrong if you like watches, but it's just like, I know watches can be expensive. I believe some, like, high-priced watches can be, like, maybe 10 grand. I don't know if that's true or not. I remember seeing something like this in a movie a long time ago. I don't know if that's really accurate, but I know watches can get very expensive if you get, like, the high-brand watches. And so I'm just here wondering, okay, even theoretically if you got one watch, and let's do a high number. Let's say a watch is, I don't know why you want to do this, but let's just say a watch is $50,000, okay? Let's just hypothetically say that. I don't know if there's a watch that high, but let's just say a watch is $50,000. So I decided to type in the most expensive watch on Google after I was in the middle of editing this video, and this right here is currently the most expensive watches in the world. Bro, I have no words that really can just describe just... Yeah, here you go. This is how expensive watches can be. So I guess this now makes sense why the author went in debt. I mean, I understand getting obsessed with a hobby. I fully understand. I mean, hell, my manga collection speaks for itself. I mean, I fully understand that. But I just don't know how someone could rack up that much debt over watches. It's just... I mean, hey, I gotta say, it's a pretty unique take on a manga. The fact that he's going to be writing about his own debt, apparently, to pay off his debt. That's funny. That's legitimately funny. And I wanted to bring attention to this because I just think that the way this is presented is so transparent. I can't even be mad. I'm not upset. I don't think anyone really is upset with this. It's just more of just or less, wow. Wow, my man. How did that even happen? I mean, my man. My man. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want to talk about this because this was pretty crazy. I could not help but just get my thoughts on the matter out this because I was taken aback. I was just like, once again, I think like maybe a debt of $1,000 is just brutal. I could not imagine a debt of that. Ooh. But okay, be safe, stay healthy. Will you be reading this series? Chibi out.